Hey, assalamu alaikum all. Today I'm going to be talking about why generosity makes you rich as a Muslim. So as Muslims, this is something that we believe, but also there are actual scientific reasons why this is true as well, which I was fascinated by. I'm going to talk about that in today's video. And this has all come from a video by George Kamal.
The most fun you can have with money is by giving it away.
So one of the things he talks about is the most fun you can have with money is by giving it away. And this is like, he's part of the Dave Ramsey kind of organization, and that is so true. So I definitely want to kind of highlight that as well. But I want to go into detail about why there are scientific reasons why giving away money will actually make you more wealthy and is good for you. Hey, welcome to Simple Muslim Money, which is all about simple halal investing and personal finance for Muslims. So if you're giving away your wealth, how on earth are you going to get wealthy? Because it doesn't make sense. You're giving money away, whereas surely you should be keeping that money in order to get wealthy.
Surprising connection between generosity and wealth and the science-backed benefits of being a giver.
Yep, so George Kamal is now going to go into the science-backed reasons of why being a giver will make you more wealthy. And also one way you can be a giver is by smashing that like button. That will really help the channel.
Generosity is good for your brain. A study from Stony Brook University found that when you're generous, your brain releases happiness chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin.
So just from a science point of view, by giving away money, it makes you more happy. It releases the right hormones. You're going to feel good about it. So that's definitely a really good tip. So, you know, if you are feeling low, feeling down, try and give some money to charity, or, you know, even better, probably like just go out there, volunteer, you know, get mixed with people. That's going to make you feel really good.
Research shows that generosity lowers stress levels, which is a big deal since stress is a huge risk factor for chronic diseases and heart attacks.
So by giving away money, it kind of reduces your stress, and, you know, which is a big cause of heart attacks, and definitely something I've been reading a lot about recently. Like, you know, if you do have a job, you want to kind of avoid stress. Like one of those, I mean, there is going to be some stress in every job, but you don't want one of those really chronic, stressful jobs. I know some people that are in finance that are working long hours. I saw a video from IFG recently where he was talking about being a lawyer, where you can make like lots and lots of money. Like I'm talking about, you know, your starting salary is probably like 150k. You could go up to like 3-4 million a year, which is like, sounds unbelievable amount of money, but you are working long hours, and that's going to have a massive effect on your health. So is it worth really working that long if it's going to have such a big impact on your health? Now, don't get me wrong, some people love that lifestyle, they really like that, and that's, you know, totally fine. I'm not sort of dismissing that, but I'm just saying, like, don't work just for the money, like work for something that you really enjoy doing as well. And also, I know I'm saying that from like a position of I'm very fortunate to have a job that I really enjoy, and I know that isn't always the case, but I definitely encourage people to keep looking and seeing what's out there and finding a job that, you know, that is kind of meaningful to you and that you really enjoy doing. That definitely is available out there. Another thing the video talks about is volunteering, and this is something I definitely recommend, like getting out there, volunteering, doing stuff like, you know, you're giving your time to somewhere else, and like just dealing with, you know, other people and mixing with them. And sometimes you get frustrated, you get tired, you get stressed out, but that's like kind of good when you're kind of volunteering as well. I know earlier I talked about stress in terms of a job, but when you're volunteering and you're giving your time away, it just makes you appreciate how lucky you are and how fortunate you are. And also some of the video talks about it's just more fun to be around someone generous, someone that, you know, is, you know, maybe takes you out for dinner, or, you know, helps you out and do things like that. You know, you don't want to be around someone stingy. So it's a really good personality trait to have. Yeah, and I also believe, like, you know, it's a very important trait of a Muslim. It's very key, something that, you know, we as Muslims hold within our identity, which I absolutely love. That's one of the things I love being about Muslim. It's all about, you know, being good to others, you know, being a good role model and being generous. I mean, come on, that's like an amazing thing to have.
The planning intentionality it takes to give can also help when it comes to investing, and the investing can enable more giving. It's like an endless, beautiful cycle. I love it.
Okay, I really love this thing about planning. So you're planning about making some money, then you invest that money, and then by growing your money, you give some of that away to charity, which is like fantastic. And you have that circle going around and around. And I think this is one of the key things about how generosity can kind of make you more wealthy. Better at planning, you get better at investing, you get better at giving your money away, and you just get better in general in just managing your money. Another thing he talks about is being a steward of money, like this Christian principle of you being a steward of money, which is the same within Islam as well. You know, this money is given to us from Allah, and, you know, we talk about risk, like your income, your money and everything comes from Allah. So we're just kind of holding on to this money. We're just like giving that responsibility, and yeah, it's about us using that money in a wise way. And I remember, like, there's a big quote out there which talks about how, like, you know, money isn't evil. It kind of just brings out your true inner kind of intention. So, you know, if you use that money for an evil reason, then, you know, that's just kind of your deeper personality coming out. Whereas if you use it for something good, then that's kind of your, you know, deeper inner personality coming around. So, like, using money in the right way is like really important as Muslims. You kind of definitely see that similarity between Christianity as well and within what Dave Ramsey talks about within his whole organization. And then George Kamal then talks about this meeting he had with this Harvard professor whose name is Arthur Brooks, and he's like a happiness sort of professor.
One of the things that I've shown in my research, going way back, this goes back 25 years in my research, is that the more you give to charity, the richer you get.
So this is fantastic. The more you give to charity, the richer you get. I mean, come on, what more do you need? I mean, there's scientific reasons for that. There's like a lot of research. He's talking about years and years. I think he said 25 years of research. So that kind of just blew my mind. And as a Muslim, this is what we're always told to do. So, we've got that from Islam, we've got that within our faith, but also you can see the science as well. And, and I definitely believe that doesn't mean that, we need the science just because Islam says it and we've got the science has to prove it. No, that's not the case as well. I just love how both of them kind of work together. Allah set up the science and all of this stuff for us. I don't want to think as though they're mutually exclusive. No, all of this is tied in together. It all comes from Allah. It's like amazing. I love this concept.
You find that in subsequent years, when you give $1 to charity, on average, there's about $1.60 that comes back to you in subsequent years.
Now, this is amazing. Like from his research, he's saying for every dollar you give, you get $1.60 back. So that's like amazing. Like from doing charity and doing things like that. And you might be thinking, well, that only some people would do that. But the key thing is that by doing this, your brain will just naturally, subconsciously, like develop connections, look for opportunities, start thinking about investment, like when you go to sleep, when you're just not thinking about when you're doing something else, when you're in the shower. And it's about having that belief as well and having that faith in Allah as well. Like, these are the things that are going to happen. So yeah, it just kind of totally blew my mind about generosity.
When you give money away, you become a problem solver and your mind changes.
So this is great. When you give money away, you become a problem solver. So you start thinking about how to make money, how to deal with issues, how to manage your money better. So, I mean, it is just so clear there. So whenever we talk about, giving charity and how that is so good for you, I mean, there's science-backed reasons for that. And I love using that and giving that another spin to Muslims as well, in terms of why generosity is so good.
Creating financial margin so that you can live your best life.
And this is a really super important thing. It's about creating financial margin. You want to make sure all your kind of needs and everything are set up so that you then have money that you can just give in charity, in generosity, however that may be, and then that will then pay its rewards back as well. So I'm not saying we should do it for a selfish reason, but it's amazing to know that as well. And also a really good thing the video talks about, it's not just about giving money as well. If you give your time as well, that's like really good and can also potentially be even better. There's so many benefits around that as well. But obviously sometimes we can't go to these far places like around the world where there's like a lot of poverty and a lot of kind of war zones and like people in real need. Like I know especially like in places like say Bangladesh where there's like a lot of poverty and things like that. So yeah, sometimes it is a case of giving money, but making a budget, creating a margin, that is like super important. And creating a budget is, oh my gosh, such a life changer for me. It just made me so aware of my money. Putting your money away regularly to some sort of charity category, which is what I'm planning to do. And then because sometimes all these opportunities come up where like, oh yeah, I've got a friend doing something, like my brother-in-law is doing cycling from Makkah to Medina, like a fantastic trip. So I'd love to donate to that. And sometimes I'm like, okay, how much should I donate? How much do I have? And so like, I have no idea. So it's fantastic just have money put away for a side so that when these good opportunities come up, that you can just donate without worrying about it, without even thinking about it. If you enjoyed this video, please check out my other video where I talk about why your net worth skyrockets after 100k for Muslims.